Okay, so now we're going to look at the cosine law, which is another law that relates to the angles and sides, and it looks like this. It's really just Pythagorean theorem with a correction factor in it. Okay? Pythagorean theorem, remember, is only for right triangles. So now we have something that's like Pythagorean theorem for non-right triangles. Okay, but you have to know the angles. Okay, so say this is the triangle again, ABC. Again, we're dropping a perpendicular down. Okay, so we have the height of the triangle. And we're dividing this bottom side into two lengths. So if the full length is B, and this is x, so we're going to define this length here as x, then this must be B minus x. Okay. So looking at this triangle now, on the left side, cos of C equals x over A. Okay, adjacent over hypotenuse. X then equals A cos C by bringing the A up here. Okay. Also, we have x squared plus h squared equals a squared. Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus h squared equals a squared. Okay. Now in the right triangle, we have c squared equals h squared. So c squared equals h squared plus b minus x all squared, using Pythagorean theorem again. Okay. Now, b minus x squared, when you expand that out, it's a perfect square, so it gives you b squared minus 2bx plus x squared. So if you expand that out, this is what you get. Okay. Now I'm going to rearrange it a little bit. I'm going to put the x squared and h squared together. Then I got b squared minus 2bx. Okay. X squared plus h squared, well, we already got that here. It equals a squared. Okay. So x squared plus h squared equals a squared. B squared minus 2bx. Well, we know what x is. X is a cos c. So we're going to sub in a cos c for x. And now we have the cosine law. C squared equals a squared plus b squared, like Pythagorean theorem, minus 2ab cos c. Okay. So when would you use this? Well, you use this if you want to find a side length, and you know an angle contained between two given sides. Okay? So you want to find a side length, but you know the opposite angle, and you know the other two sides. Now, if you want to find the angle in this, you can use some algebra to rearrange it. Okay? So rearranging this, okay, bringing the a squared and b squared to the other side, or bringing the negative 2ab cos c to the other side becomes positive, and then bring the c squared to this side becomes negative. Then you divide both sides by 2ab, and this is a formula if you need to find an angle. So if you need to find the angle, given all three sides, A, B, and C, then you can do that. Okay. So here's some situations where you'd use the cosine law. So this first situation, okay, so you want to find this side length, and you're given the opposite angle and the two other sides. Well, then you just sub it into the cosine law. X squared equals those two sides, the square, minus 2 times those two sides, cos 27. Okay? Or you're given all three sides. If you're given all three sides and you want to find an angle, you can eventually find all the angles. So here is the side C, basically you would be talking about. Okay, so that's the one you're going to subtract because these are the ones that are contained around the angle. Okay, so cos of theta equals 5 squared plus 10 squared minus 13 squared, the one that is opposite the angle, and the 5 and the 10 go down here again. Once you've got that, evaluate that, then do cos inverse, cos negative 1 of that answer, and it'll get you the angle. Okay, so here's some numerical examples. Okay. So when we look at this example, you want to solve for this. Okay, well you've got the opposite angle and the other two sides. So you're going to write the cosine law in terms of those letters. So if b squared is what you want, or b is what you want, then it's cos of b is going to be the angle that you're going to have here. And then the other two sides go in here. Okay? Plug those all in. And don't forget to use BEDMAS properly here. Some students will evaluate 9.1 squared, 11.5 squared, and then evaluate this and subtract it from that. You don't do that. This is done, this is done, this is all done in one shot. Here, okay? So this has to be done and then subtracted from this. Okay, so make sure you follow BEDMAS properly. And then you'll end up with the side squared is 173, and the square root of that gives you the actual side, which is about 13.17. Okay. And here's another example to show you when finding an angle, looking for an angle. Okay, so here you're given three sides, 11.1, 5.2, and 9.9 millimeters. So you want to solve for angle A. Well, there's angle A. There's the side opposite of it, so that's the one you're going to subtract in the formula. Okay? You're going to use this formula here, the one to solve for the angle. So the A is there. B and C are the other two sides. Okay? Plug it all in. You get a nice decimal number to 4 decimal places about. Or keep it in your calculator completely, and then do cos inverse of that, and it gives you the angle of 27.9 degrees. Okay. And that's our cosine law.